morning and welcome to another beautiful, fabulous day. Grand Rising. Hello, gorgeous ones. I'm Shira Adler. Welcome to Synergy Show, specifically Quantum Coffee Talk, where we are totally activating world kindness. And how do we do that? Well, by we, I mean myself and Mari Tierney, QC. By the way, I now get to add QC. If you looked at my channel overview, you'll see that it actually says that. That's Quantum Celebrant. And all of the tools, skills, tips from this beautiful quantum DIY toolkit we call New Alchemy, we review a lot of that. We review a lot of the platforms. This is a show for all humanitarians, light workers, those who identify as being an ascended soul seeking to step into the fullness of who you are, for the joy that you can, why you're here. And the New Alchemy toolset has a lot of specific things that are designed to be self-directed. So yes, we chat about them, we offer them, we teach them in various ways. MaRaKi MU's book, because we'll get into that name as well. So that's her energetic name, and that matters now. And as we are all manifesting, unmanifesting, and manifesting again, there's so much going on. We spend these half-hour sessions to present some of what's going on and some yes but tools, some new clarity information. Today's topic is de-anchoring 3D. So, MaRaKi MU, good morning, sweet one, beloved. How are you?
Good morning. I had the joy of waking up to your little video to Shiny Happy People. So what else could I want?
I was lip syncing. I almost posted it. I was like, no, I have no makeup. My hair wasn't done. I was lip syncing to Shiny Happy People.
It was so good.
I just, when you're cleaning, I woke up at 5 a.m. and you guys are going to laugh, but maybe you'll relate. I literally thought, and I'm totally serious, if I'm fully finishing the de-anchoring process from 3D, then I best get this place cleaned up because I want to leave it shiny and happy. I did. I was cleaning baseboards in the mirror and the bathroom sink, and I washed the kitchen floor at 5 a.m. Absolutely seriously intending. Let's make sure it's like, you're taking a trip. What does one need to do before they take that big trip? Now, I've been in the process. I'm sure most people watching this have been on this big trip for quite some time, but I meant it. And then all of a sudden, a good jam comes on and lip syncing. It just,
I think it should become a thing.
I think it's a thing. I think it's a thing.
I would love to see a million lip syncs to Shiny Happy People.
That's such a good idea. Let's make that go viral. Let's make that
That's
go
one
viral.
way to de-anchor 3D.
Yes. Oh, there you go. Tool number one. Look, a lot of these topics are heavy, but they also they really should feel, and that's how you know it's a litmus test. How does what you're hearing, what you're saying, what you're experiencing feel to the body? And if it doesn't make you want to get up and dance, okay, a lot of stuff may feel that way. That's where you get to examine, decide, set a new clarity. Yeah, lip syncing and dancing around feels in alignment for me. Especially after the last 24 hours I've had. I'm going to say I moved the energy into that. I did that. For me, yeah.
One of the things that I think you can speak to so well now is the invitation in New Alchemy. Okay, here's some tools. Here's some tools to adjust. I keep seeing a mixologist, and I was trying to fit it in. Sorry. But literally become your own mixologist, your vibe mixologist, right? Go ahead and lift and change the vibrational total, your balance, clean up, uplift, clean up, uplift. It's the one of the prime invitations underneath all those little tools and tips is what's your way. New Alchemy came through my way of discovering and asking. The invitation is to invite everyone to start asking, what's their way of moving into 5D? What's their way of raising their vibration? What's their way of communicating what raising your vibration means? And as we take time and we even start to wonder in these ways, believe me, man, it's all involved in asking, it's given, and asking is way more than we think it is. It's any kind of vibrational activity is asking.
Yeah, the asking is given. review that just for a moment for those who are, because I know we're going to have people watching this particular segment since it is about deanchoring 3D, right, as we move into 5D. If that part needs explanation again, let's have a sidebar conversation to support that. But the ask and it is given, the law of attraction, the way New Alchemy ties in, if you could just briefly review that for a moment, because it's essential to understand that, so we can talk about the deanchoring part.
Absolutely. I would simply say we have a promise in many texts throughout history that Rumi says that's what you seek is seeking you. Certainly ask and it's given comes from the biblical texts. There's many forms of it. I would say in these times, embracing all the versions of it, and certainly where New Alchemy has landed is focus and it's given.
Right. I like focus. I think that it is a much more specific and more accurate translation. We do talk a lot. Again, you're welcome to go back and look at the previous episodes of the Quantum Coffee Talk, because we have mentioned a lot of these foundational principles, if you will. And they're really, really important to understand. They're also really easy to understand, especially if any aspect of viewing yourself as a humanitarian light worker or ascended soul, you have alignment to be hearing this, or you wouldn't be hearing it, right? So if that is clarifying, again, if you want to review any of it, go back to the earlier episodes. They're all meant to be short and specific. So that does help focus, and it is given. And the issue today is that we keep talking about, I want to get there, I want to get there, I want to get there. We know there is a there, and we know we're in process for it. So how do we really de-anchor from that which has been holding us, from where we have given too much attention and focus, perhaps?
Yes, Shira, thank you. Abraham, one of its earliest analogies, the energy, the teaching, called Abraham through Esther Hicks, was a changing point in my life. And there's more in that in the books and more on all that. However, they have this fabulous analogy that each person and our physicality works kind of like a radio, okay? Put it on a certain setting, and that's what you're going to get. All the other streams of music, right, are always playing. All the experiences are always playing. Depending where you put your dial depends on what you're going to perceive and interact. So then my question became well, how do I move the dial if I'm not liking the music where I am? Okay, all right.
Like if somebody wants to
I'm
go
getting
from
so much information in this morning. So
I should explain that for people. By the way, when MaRaKi MU starts, there's a pause of looking around for a moment. That's because, and I'm sure this is resonant for people. If you've ever channeled, if you've ever felt that you're getting guidance, sometimes they're pictures, sensations, colors, feeling states, right? She gets a lot of bubbles. So do I. So sometimes like, wait, hang on. And you want to grab at one of them and say that again? What was that? Our beloved Ginger, Sky, all these people, they're all, channeling in a way messages, Jen, philosophy, some of our faves. We all have that connectivity ability. We really do. And we're just offering one set. But if you came in late, again, what MaRaKi MU said earlier, what's your way? We're only giving additional information to help you access, because you are the I am, and you are source. And you are here as a deliberate creator. And, collectively, we got this. We really do. We really do. That's important too. So just wanted to throw that in there. Focus and it is given. Find your way. Okay. My way this morning was lip syncing to Shiny Happy People, which, by the way, one of the lines in it, gold and silver shining all around. I was like, love that song.
Yes, please. More of that.
More of that.
Oh, and there's much to be understood about the frequency and the energy spectrum of gold and why it is experienced in the way it is. By the way, so if that feels like a complete new thought, do some Googling, understand the frequency of gold and why it's substantial. So we have many, 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 many ways to raise our vibration. A lot of people are involved in that. And what so often people experience, I know I did for decades, was they would do the work, the meditation, the song, the singing, the dancing to raise their vibration. And then something would pull them out and it would all collapse.
Right.
So literally that dynamic is what these tools came to. I asked how to get to those origins inside of me, the internal origins that cause that collapse of my frequency and unwanted experiences in the reflective reality. How did I get to them and change them? So that's the tools of New Alchemy came as an answer to that. That's another, again, more in the books. Today, what we really wanted to talk about is when we have something unforgiven that feels other than that raised vibration, when we have a thought, a question. Okay, this New Alchemy has been really expanded. What are the thought mechanics and agreements? Okay, so it's more than just the idea of past trauma. It's more than mantras, even though those things help so much. There are literally thought mechanics that we can transmute and renegotiate. So if someone gets stuck in an experience when they're young and someone calls them ugly and they're still hearing it, it's still happening right now. That's what an open event is.
Right.
It's
like
a right now trauma.
Right. That's what I was going to say. We've talked about that before, and it's really important people understand. A trauma may have happened physically in a previous section or segment of one's life. That's a true and real experience, and there's no question of that. And it is what it is, and it makes you feel whatever you feel or felt. Because you can still have a feeling connected to it when it's that alive, then guess what? It's actually still happening now, even if the experience was earlier. And that's really important as a dynamic and as a quantum mechanic to understand. That's what you're referring to when you say open data or open event. Past trauma is not a past trauma if it's still affecting your energy field now. It's a now trauma or now data, because unjudge it. Lighten it up.
Yes, and I really want to go beyond this idea that it's just emotions attached to it.
Yeah.
The work with New Alchemy, it is a fully dynamic packet of information. Okay, but I wanted to let me finish that. It's literally a moment in time that is now alternative to the current moment. Okay, this is a really important thing to understand, because so many times we will get triggered, or other people will get triggered into that data, into that open moment. We know it, we call it wounded and past trauma, but it is absolutely chronically happening in the body, okay, in the spirit, in the mind. It's still happening. It's a now trauma, and we only work in the now.
Right.
Second is those pockets, if you will, in our energy that are actively engaged in a completely different time space information set. Those are big anchors to our 3D experience, and not just the current 3D experience, but 3D experiences through, that were left open in the idea of the past. Okay, original experience that has yet to resolve. So I really wanted to offer a couple of things here. I usually offer them on workshops. It's in the book, but just invite anybody who's listening to do a calculation. Okay, just take out your calculator, take 24 times 365 times 10. Double check me, but I believe the total is 87,600. Okay,
I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with that as being accurate, because math and my brain just, I'm not through my first cup of coffee. So let's just go with that, and someone can check it. And I know you're right. I'm just kidding. It's right.
So 87,600 hours is how many hours we've lived from conception, if you will, birth to 10 years old. Now, on the average, most of us actually remember 15 to 25 events. Okay, those events where we can see, we feel it, we're in it. The emotion certainly comes up, and that's one of your prime indicators that it's still open, for sure. Right. There's much more information. This is the first time I'm ever speaking this on a recording. Okay, more detail is in the book. Nidus.
And more detail for when we do the prep for those certain sessions. We'll talk about that later.
Yes.
But we have a workshop coming up on Friday, the 20th of September, and that's going to be very important. We'll get into that. But remember what she's saying right now. Pay attention to this, guys, because it's really significant. Okay.
Thank you. So in the 87,600 hours that we live from birth to 10, most of us only remember 15 to 25 truly. Okay.
Right.
And then we'll have extended recall. Okay. So the really interesting question is, even if, let's say someone remembered 100 actual moments.
And those moments can be short. They can be just literally an instantaneous moment. I'm sitting on the beach. I'm standing on the front porch as a child holding a lollipop, whatever it is. We're just talking moment, just specific experience / moments. Yeah.
So let's say someone actually recalls 100. Okay. It would be unusual, certainly possible.
Yeah.
Easier to calculate. 100 moments. And typically, as Shira said, they're really short. They're 2 seconds, 3 seconds in the classic open event scenario. It's kind of more a point of time. However, let's say they could have full, absolutely recall of an hour. That would be 100 hours in childhood. Still, I would say what was happening the other 87,500 hours.
Whatever it was, the energy got reabsorbed and it did not embed, let's call it a form of embed.
It resolved.
It resolved. Yeah, I like that.
It resolved into a state of non-active data. It certainly still exists. However, it's out of play in our now. Now, the moments, again, as Shira's referred to, they can feel the whole spectrum, kind of a different perspective in New Alchemy. They can even feel ultimate, okay? If they're open, they have a robust instruction data set. And very often it's contrary to the experience that someone's wanting to have right now. Right. Okay.
It becomes
sometimes it's serving the experience they want to have right now. Yeah. Okay. By the way. So these are one of the forms of energy, vibrational dynamics, quantum mechanics, if you will, quantum thought mechanics that anchor us in 3D. As much as we work and as hard as we work and all the workshops that we take and all the different healing modalities that we experience, it's not that they're not working. It's that we typically have some few events or dynamics, an open query even, a question that can't be answered, and more on that just regenerate the issue, okay?
Like even why did this happen to me is... That's a big one, actually. Let's not open that. But that is a big one.
Why don't they love me?
Why don't they love me? Just think of any significant, because believe it or not, the way and the moment that you ask that, let's say as a child or as an early teen, whatever it is, it's tasking and asking the universe, please show me more experientially to try to answer it. And that's how we're generating these true and real events that, again, keep us anchored in the 3D. And here we are trying to clear and lift it. And we are these beautiful, shiny, happy people striving to change the world without doing all the forgiveness work and in the neutral state, the first of the just unjudging it and getting it into a neutral zone. It's going to be a little trickier. And especially before we go into these new healing technologies, etc., whatever you're carrying, especially if it's unseen and unknown, it's kind of still in there, guys. So it's really important that we de-anchor those, right? You can understand.
Yes, and I wanted to tie those questions that Shira and I just mentioned. Those are not knotted questions. It's one of the reasons why we really, at the beginning, understanding the energetic consequence of commanding or asking in a not knotted, entangled way.
Let's give an example of that. I'm going to pull up so that people can see what a knot looks like, because you sent a really good one this morning. So this is a knot, like NOTKNOT. Okay. And then MaRaKi MU can explain why this is a knot.
Well, just very simply, if I say, think of a pink balloon, what happens? What is your system immediately response? If I say, don't think of a pink balloon, what happens? It's the same command with a different intention. Okay.
Same
a different
command.
response being wanted.
Yeah, so
it's the exact same command. One wants the pink balloon, one wants something else, has no clarity. Okay. When we're using it in a meme like that, because this one is, first of all, it's a beautiful communication. I'm rewriting it with all the love and honoring to the person who posted it. But the clarity in this ask and given that we've been mentioning, okay, this answered prayer dynamic, this focus and it's given, this as a man thinketh, so is he dynamics. When we lean on the not, okay, it just becomes kind of an entangled clarity to our mind and then the field. Now, this one's a little more clear. They actually honor that they're using the word not, but those who do not wage war within themselves do not wage war outside themselves. Okay. It's one of the better ones. Okay. But the ones who hold peace within generate peace without.
Right. Because it's a reflection. So the trick to really understanding all of this is really basic. Whatever you're focusing on in a complete state of clarity, having done the forgiveness releases so that you're removing any of the data that you might not even see or perceive at a time, that's what gives you that clean slate from which you can then create a clarity. If you're not doing this, remember we've talked about the 10 commandments. Okay, if I'm do not and shall not and thou not, all the not. All right, well, if one is not doing that, then what are you doing? So it's a combination of holding the clarity and running the forgiveness, because without that forgiveness release, the internal mechanisms, and it's like coding. We are these beautiful dynamic quantum computers, really. We are quantum computer systems, by the way. I mean, we technically are, right? So
self-quantum, self-computing.
Yeah.
Self, okay, computating. This is the coming here, experiencing, observing, declaring, feeling, preferring, okay.
Seeing it reflected in collective consciousness. That's just the mirror. And you're going to run a great workshop, by the way, on Mirror, Mirror. I'm really excited for that because the work in the mirror, that is some fun stuff. Let me just tell you.
Well, and it is the fulfillment of promise of free will with full unconditional love and support and guidance. Okay. So once we know how to look into our reflective reality and we know how to perceive it, and we're able to understand even more profoundly and how actual it is, that everything is happening through us, that is the promise of free will as well, then the reflective reality becomes one of your prime tools. And my invitation right now is just go find something you find beautiful. Names 3 things about it. Okay. Something lovely, something inspiring, a person. What is 3 things about them that you're perceiving? And then find it in yourself. One way to start de-anchoring 3D. The next is to actually do the quantum forgiveness releases. First, step 1 is working with yourself. It's upgraded for as this wave has generated. So there's some new instructions we'll record here. Second, but you can start just with it the way it is right now. That'll be enough. You can come back. 2 is to do it with your childhood cast in the stage of your life. Okay? Your childhood players, mom, dad, siblings, whoever was in the house predominantly.
That can be early caretakers. Actually, siblings is really good. I had left out my siblings when I first did it, and I'm noticing they're really popping up a lot right now, of course, because they are physical siblings in this iteration.
Yeah.
For me personally, 2 of my siblings biologically live in Israel, have children engaged, involved in conflict over there. And, there's a lot going on in my immediate constellation. And this is actually what I've offered them, besides the love and loving on them and loving on everybody over there. It's please, please, please do these forgiveness releases and then sit back and watch it shift in your reflective experience. If each one of us did that with our siblings and our parents, step 1 and that's step 2. And then what's step 3? Who's the third step for the forgiveness release? This is super important.
Well, start with any of your guys, okay? Anyone that when you think of them, it feels other than yummy, okay? Start there. And then the new set of instructions, expanded ones, you'll learn how to do a place and an experience as well. Now, here's the thing. Stuck energy that's went into agreement in a certain way, in a certain form. Stuck energy in hearing someone say, oh, you're not good enough. That's stuck energy if you're still hearing it. Stuck energy is an open question. Why they don't love me. Stuck energy is perhaps even a full dynamic, robust moment in time, okay, that feels other than yummy. Those are all stuck energy, but even more, they're unforgiven experiences. And this is understanding forgiveness at the quantum level. It's an all dimensional transmutation and release, a de-anchoring from those time and space and dynamics that energy went into agreement to, the perspective level that it went into. And each time you forgive it, you create a vacuum in your vibration, if you will, that can be filled with all that you understand now and more. Okay. You can welcome the knowing and the unknowing and knowing more right before you do your forgiveness release, because it's gonna fill as you resolve and forgive these different dynamics. Start with the 3 steps because they just upgraded. Gonna love it. I got the green light to upgrade, present an upgraded version.
Good.
Better said.
Oh, and by the way, we will have that posted. That'll be in our Telegram rooms. That'll be on our social media. That will be below in the description box, and there will be the specific audio recording so that at any time and every time you feel it. And by the way, the GER group means like the GRRRR, like
yes.
Anything that feels constriction. This is what we're talking about. So it's steps 1, 2, and 3. It takes about 5 minutes. You read it yourself. You can follow along because it will be an audio recording and a little video, but you just listen, repeat the words, speak them out loud, right? Go through those 3, do them every day. And that third one, by the time you get really into this stuff, because they're so simple, but they're so powerful, think of them as computer coding. This is quantum coding that's being offered, right? This is what's going to do the deanchoring piece for you, with you, through you, by you. And the reason why they're so powerful is exactly that. They're quantum forgiveness releases. That's what is needed to get us all moving. And I love the third thing. You can get really complex and fun and play. You don't need to know at this immediate time or feel that you know all that's been anchoring you. You don't need to access all the open data. What you need to do is run the quantum forgiveness releases, because that can be on everything from, HARP to illness itself, to how you felt about the last couple of years and the conversations around the medical establishment. It can be about aspects of climate change or, whatever it is that you pay attention to that you feel affects your body. Even forgive a group of cells in your body. The name of a diagnosis, the person who stole your lollipop in 3rd grade. It actually really doesn't make too much of a difference.
I have to do that on that one. No.
I know, it's time.
Okay, fine.
But it's deep. It's quantum. It's quantum. Should I say it again?
Yes, which is the fundamental orchestration, the fundamental orchestration mechanics of ask and it's given, okay, in the now. And the other thing is to pay attention to your secret knotted self-coding, okay? Yeah. I'm so stupid. I'm not good enough, okay? I can't do it.
Or even something else I think is important. I'm a victim. Even if you don't mean to say it that way, if you hold a belief.
Absolutely.
And we've seen it in some of the talk of our beautiful, we have a bunch of people that we love and follow. Sometimes they languish things in a not, this is happening to me. These people are saying this and that. And oh, guys, come on. Love you so much. You're so beautiful and brilliant.
We just haven't realized how we're doing this to our own self. Again, free will says focus and it's given. And that even applies to our own self and how the body reacts and the cells react. I'm alive 25 years today with a clean bill of health that is just documented for the book from a terminal non-curable. Okay. And the only thing that changed was my vibrational mix. More on that later. So the thing about this I am or I'm not, and you're right, Shira, it's important to also pay attention to what we say we are. Okay. Mm-hmm. Because the body responds instantly. Yeah. Because it's healthier. Mm-hmm. Feel what you just said. Does it feel healthy? Does it feel yum? These kind of habits are going to give us long lasting, not only skills for deanchoring 3D into 5D, but also for navigating 5D. We want something different. We need to continue to learn to do things differently. And this is really the invitation from the bottom of my heart and all that I am, is to start becoming a cooperative component, to remove the either or, the 3D or the 5D, and embrace the and, allowing, welcoming, helping summon in 3D into 5D, and allowing 5D to have 3D expression. Okay, this is about opening heaven on earth inside and making heaven on earth, if you will, visible as a collective experience. This is really what it's about. This is the higher frequency collective experience, individual and collective experience that has alignment for spontaneous healing, for sudden change, desired sudden change, period, and even increasingly us being aligned for sudden desired change, for that miracle zone, for that I dream of genie zone, for that be, all these wonderful things that at least ones my age grew up with, right?
Now I'm gonna have that theme song stuck in my head all morning. Oh my gosh.
Okay, you guys, I'm in for it for today. This is going to be fun. All right, so
yes.
Well, such a joy that I get to, that we get to play together and even have these conversations together with you. So here's the thing. Remember, you're living your legacy. Remember, what you live today is your legacy. You are part of the legacy of this dynamic shift from 3D to this dynamic expansion of 3D into 5D. Okay. The idea is that we actually allow that 5D, this some physical expression, okay, the involvement of physicality, okay, to have the full spectrum of experience and more, by the way, more's in the hopper. Let's just work with this at the moment, okay? Open your heart, smile on purpose, okay?
Go find your favorite song.
Yes. Find something, drink coffee. No. We really need a coffee sponsor for this show.
Oh, really do. Really do. I'll work on that.
Smile on purpose. And yes, but even if you catch yourself saying something naughty, so sometimes I'm naughty.
Naughty? Are you naughty? Are you naughty? You're naughty and you're naughty.
I'm naughty. Just butt it. And you know what? Go back and lighten it up. I feel the difference between I'm ugly and I feel ugly. Okay, no one is ugly, because that would be they would then be only one thing. Okay,
and you can't be only one thing.
Of course,
ever.
Not. Thank goodness.
Ever.
Right? We are these expansive, dynamic, fabulously exquisite beings. What we can do is say, I feel. That keeps it fluid, and then we can butt it, because butt's a magical word when you know how to use it.
Make sure it's on the other half of that sentence.
But I'm also what? But I'm willing to see my beauty. There's so many ways to play with this. You already know how to do it. We're just helping you remember how to do it.
Because we're trying to remember
this level of your mastery and helping and inviting and supporting you in your journey to finding your way of expressing and playing with it. We have a fabulous, Shira, I'm not sure if it's up. I know we're kind of gone a little long. If you wanted to, I would love to celebrate this beloved being that I have the honor to have personally connected with, Nassim Harriman. He is extraordinary. You can find out much more about him through the links. At his first presentation of the vacuum space, what I saw was that it was infinite fuel. It was literally space travel, if you will. Otherwise, it was fuel on demand. And what an amazing, joyful, fabulous being him and his wife let out and caused a bit of a sensation storm, even on all the way to like the Today Show or something, on the actual original design of birth. It's orgasmic. We've gotten off track with it a little bit and gone to believe it's something else, but we can return back to it.
Okay, we can, but I'm not. I'm just going to be very clear. Instead, I'm not even going to leave it in a not. What I prefer is honoring the children, now young adults that I have already brought in, and honoring the next generation of those who will birth in beings who already know who they are, who already have the conscious clarity through some of our project. And again, if you have a project on the humanitarian level, please go to join, check out, participate with find-a-project.com. That's our beautiful friend Shira over there in the UK, and all of our peeps there over the pond, somewhere over the ocean, etc. And yes, there's a lot more. We have a lot more to cover. We have a lot more in terms of conversation to add to this. Again, the forgiveness releases to de-anchor 3D. We've got to do quantum forgiveness level so that we put everything into that neutral state. Whatever was unforgiven must be now transmuted. And more on this, especially because MaRaKi MU has to get to that, finishing that book, so we can have all these tools. Quantum Coffee Talk is just one way that we present some of them, review them, chit chat. If you'd like to continue the conversation, please click over on Telegram to New Alchemy and New Alchemy chat. Of course, all the links are always in the description box below. We thank you for spending time with us this morning. Really important conversation. And I just love it. I need some more coffee though. I'm running low, babe.
We have some fabulous coffee available.
Yeah, Yummy Life Boutique. Well, I'm gonna have to. I need to remember. We literally.
I need to get the mug. I keep forgetting to just do it.
There's a color morphing mug.
I welcome everyone else to remembering. Well, actually, I welcome myself and everyone
Yeah.
else to remember. Really fun cup, some great coffee.
Color morphing, you put hot liquid in, it changes, it reveals graphics. It's so cool. It's kind of like how we are. Put the right ingredients in, and all of a sudden, our true essence starts to reveal. It's so fabulous. So, with love and
Exactly.
light and blessings, thank you for joining us.